Testing. Hey, Antoine. Hey, Scott. Hey, Moxie. Pyro. Again? Problems? Everybody. Man. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Hey, Selena. Hey, Millie. Hey, Rose. Hey, James.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Dan. FDT. YOOO.
Hi, Adela. Gav.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Emmy. Sorry I'm late, y'all. Yeah.
Hey there, Dan.
Hey, Izzy.
He. Yeah. You're fine.
Hey, Brendo. Hey,
Hi, Dan.
Ange. Hey, Moxie. Starscream. Hey, Arflu.
Hey, Dan and chat.
Hey, Nunya.
Hello, gang. FDT.
Thank you for the harmies, everybody.
Hey, Whiteheart.
We're going to get started shortly. We're not doing debates tonight. I can't remember when the last time we did this was, but we definitely need to do it regularly.
Hello, Dan. It says I sent you a reminder to do a specific gift goal.
I don't know what that means, Ange. Hey, Ethnic. SJ, I haven't looked into it. We're not doing politics tonight.
Hey, how are you? Probably the hard me gift goal.
Hey, Vanessa.
Me either. It just said remind the host.
Oh. Okay, let me get my ducks in order here. Hey, Epic. Coworker told me I need to smile. Currently firing an ICBM to his location. So you cry about the plane, but you haven't looked into the investment. Have I cried about the plane? Wait, SJ, show me a clip of me crying about the plane. Yeah, that's what I thought. You're mixing me up with someone else. But even if I wanted to cry about the plane, I mean, it's literally, I said I didn't look into it today. Am I allowed to take a day off from hearing Donald Trump's name? Am I allowed?
At Spiral Area, I had one tell me that the other day, and also that they wouldn't use my pronouns. At K.P. So real. No.
TikTok said no.
I posted it in mod chat. He's our purgatory.
Oh, that's so interesting. It's like the mini games. You're probably the only liberal not crying about it then. SJ, bro, who are you? Why do you have no profile picture, no followers? What's happening? Just get on your main and talk about it.
Hello.
And go to the people who are crying about it and be upset to them. You're being a little weird.
SJ wanted the smoke. Howdy.
Hey,
SJ
Matt.
is Erica's stalker.
Eric has a stalker?
SJ only follows you and Z. SJIM currently curled up in a ball sobbing because of the plane.
SJ, unfollow me.
Yep, SJ. He literally follows her around lives asking about her unemployment.
Oh! Okay.
C is going to put SJ on the tour next. OMG, SJ is the person who asks Erica if she's happily unemployed, bro.
Y'all can go ahead. I followed because I thought it would trigger
right.
the red text. Oh, well.
SJ is probably Z.
Yeah, it didn't trigger it. But you know what's gonna trigger you?
Dono.
I blocked him. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the
LMAO.
I'm gonna turn off the TTS.
You're probably right. W Dan.
I'm gonna turn off the TTS. Welcome in, everybody. So this is not gonna be a long live. I think I'm gonna be live for like 2 hours, and we're gonna do a mental health check-in. With everything going on right now, I feel like a lot of us are not paying attention to our mental health, and the last time we did this, I think it was very good for the community and for everyone that came up. So thank you, Mo, for the sub. So if anyone wants to come up and speak about it's nonstop bad news daily, yeah, I agree. If anyone wants to come up and either speak about what they're going through personally or what they're going through as related to this administration, or I mean, if you don't have to come up either, you could just speak in chat, and I'll talk to you guys from up here. We're just gonna be hanging out. Having a huge issue with IRL friends acting like this isn't going on and just don't want to hear it. Yeah, Jolly. So this was actually part of the reason that I started going live in the first place was I felt like I was being gaslit by everyone in real life regarding the fake elector plot and January 6th. I just couldn't believe that people were so willing to ignore sorry, I just got an invite from a person I haven't spoken to in a long time. But yeah, people are so willing to like ignore something so massive. It was driving me crazy. And now we have the stuff that's going on is like human rights violations, concentration camps, and people are just ignoring it. So I definitely get that. I definitely get that. I'm gonna go up to the first guest. Bring up the first guest.
Hello.
Hi, welcome up.
Hey. I was just wondering where you were. I'm like, oh my gosh, is you okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was running late today.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm just glad to see you. Well, my mental health is my mental health. It's rough, and I feel like I'm being gaslit as well. I mean, people just don't understand what's going on, don't care. No, I think they do know what's going on. They just don't care. That's sad.
Yeah. So. But yeah, I think the idea that we don't, you could go on the street right now and ask people, it's like, hey, do you know about the woman who's being treated as an incubator right now? And they'd say no.
Right.
Do you know about the people who have died in CCOT that came from the United States? So essentially, we're sending people to a death camp, and they just don't know. And yeah, it really, really does not feel good.
It doesn't. It really doesn't, because people, I work, I don't want to say where, but I live in the great state of Florida. Okay. And I work for a certain place. And one of my coworkers was like, oh, hey, what are you going to be doing this weekend? Well, next week. And I was like, well, my nephew's graduating from high school. So I was just like, I'm going to go, but I'm just going to drive. I'm not going to take a plane. And he's like, why not? I'm like, well, I don't really feel safe with planes. This guy had the nerve to tell me, oh, it's funny now. It's not like planes just now have been crashing and stuff. It's always been happening, but the media just they don't tell us. I'm just looking at this dude trying to keep my cool. And I'm just like, yeah, you're right, man. Yeah, you're right. But I'm thinking, are you serious? So he thinks that now that things, this administration, everybody's just trying to make them look bad. This
Yeah.
is what this man really thinks. And it's sad. I'm just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, uh, I think it was the first commercial airline crash
Mhm.
in since 91. It was um or no, since since like 2001. It's been a long time since we had a crash like that. And that's not even counting the um the
The private planes.
the,
Yeah.
the private planes. The private planes, listen, it's possible that the private planes are about the same rate, but when we have the amount of close calls that we've had with commercial planes, not just the plane that crashed, right?
Right.
And we have actual people in the FAA, especially now with the tri-state area in Newark, saying do not fly out of Newark. Oh,
Right?
it is not
Right?
safe to fly out of Newark. That's not normal. That didn't happen under Biden. That didn't happen under George Bush. That didn't happen under Obama.
Right. Yeah,
So
but it's just a campaign to make, a certain person look bad, of course. We're just exaggerating. We're just liberals who, we just like to make things bad, and it's not bad at all. This is great. The tariffs and the stock market, all of it is awesome.
yeah, um, yeah. I mean, hell, it didn't even. Someone in chat mentioned it. It didn't even happen in Trump's first term because Trump's first term didn't involve this Project 2025 complete
Right.
slashing of all government employees, even the ones that keep us safe.
Right.
So it's very clear that this is not a thing because of who he is. It's because of what he is doing. But
Yes.
I mean I agree with you. It is so frustrating, and it feels like you're being gaslit. It really does.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially in this wonderful state of ours, Florida.
yeah. Um, uh, Flor- Florida. Now this is separate from Trump, but the fact that Ron DeSantis is so able to ignore our massive insurance crisis going on in the state
Oh my goodness.
and just
Oh my goodness.
pass like culture war bullshit, like the don't
Yep.
say gay bill. When insurance prices in the state have doubled in 3 years, and we have pretty much all but one insurance company leaving the state, and his
Uh-huh.
priorities were okay. We got to remove the word gay from public schools.
Hmm.
It's mind-boggling that people see that and they're okay with it.
Yes.
That's what's really. It's one thing if the people at the top are evil, right? But it's the people that
Right.
support them that are what's that boil my blood.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I was born here in Florida. I live here now, but I was raised up north. So I was raised in Detroit. So,
Mm. Yeah,
so
I was raised in New Jersey and I moved to
okay.
Florida.
Yeah. Well, I lived in Long Island for several years, so I'm used to the Northeast as well. So, but yeah, I have a different perspective, and this is like a lot. It's a lot, a lot of stuff going on in my personal life as well. I have aging parents. It's a blessing, but it's very challenging at times. So, yeah. But I just wanted to say hi. It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Thank you so much for coming up.
All right. You have a good one.
You as well. Bye.
Bye.
Damn, I kind of forgot like how pleasant non-MAGA guests are. It's the hypocrisy for me where they blame the violence and their behavior on the left. Yeah. Uh, Mark, I actually haven't looked into that. Um, that's the first time hearing about that, but I can look that up after a few guests just came out. Hey, how are you?
I'm good, Dan. How are you?
Doing all right.
This is my first time in your lives. Well, not in your live, but like as a guest, so please bear with me.
Yeah, no, no. Well,
Uh, I would say that my mental health is um, not great because the last 3 months have been especially hard, but because I have some issues with some friends, but overall with the administration, it's really I don't know how to even describe it. Like, I think it's overwhelming and stressful because I come from two different communities. I come from the Latino community, and I also come from the disabled community. And so,
What was the first
um,
one?
I,
Your mic cut out.
sorry, the Latino community.
Latino. Okay.
Yeah. So the Latino community, and then the disabled community. And I'm from Idaho, so it's like even more problematic and stressful.
And both of
But
those
like,
communities are currently under attack by this administration.
right, and there are just things that I feel like I have to be weary of. Like, for example, what if my birthright citizenship is taken away? What if my Medicaid is taken away? Or like, what if all these things are taken away? Like, I just want to get my master's degree and just live, you know. Um, but another thing that was alarming for me, I don't know if you heard about it, but like they want to do a reality show for undocumented immigrants, and I think that's inhumane as hell.
It is inhumane, but it doesn't surprise me after the White House put out the deep mass deportation ASMR. So definitely tracks. But that's disgusting. Who proposed that?
It was a producer from what I heard or from what I saw. But yeah, I just want to be able to, continue to do the best that I can as a social worker, but I also know that this administration is attacking people like me, my family, and I'm really struggling right now.
Yeah. I don't blame you. Um are you in the Discord by chance?
Uh, I I submitted a ticket, but I'm waiting for it to get processed. So
Got you. Yeah, that's on me. I'm I'm the reason it hasn't been processed. Yep, I see you right now. I'm gonna go ahead and process that. So you are in. Um,
I, I
yeah,
appreciate you, Dan.
yeah, no problem. We have a very welcoming and empathetic community, and I think at a time like this that we all need that.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you so much for letting me vent and letting me have my voice heard. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm gonna try to do this regularly. I don't know about maybe once every 2 weeks or once, but definitely we need this every once in a while. And I really appreciate you
Yeah,
coming up and having your voice heard. Thank you so much.
of course. And also, one more thing I want to say before I drop. Santana is literally one of the biggest people that's helping me get through this. I'm one of his mods, and he's just a blessing to everyone.
Santana has a heart of gold. Period. Point blank.
Yes, I love him. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna drop. Have a good evening.
Thank you. You as well. Johnny, if you're still here, you got like a TikTok stalker or something. I'm blocking them as they come in, but they're coming in with 0 followers, 0 following, and just they do not like Johnny Palmadessa. So don't do that, guys. Oh, Santana's here. Hey, Santana. Wait, what? Oh, I love Johnny just doesn't even notice. There was like 3 separate accounts that came in since you came in here and were saying some anti-Johnny rhetoric. But I'm pretty sure they were all the same person. It's just every time we blocked them, they would come in on a new account. I just popped in. No, you his ears were burning. He was like, I hear people glazing me. Thank you everybody for the heart me's. We're gonna go to the next guest now. I'm talking shit about you. Hey, welcome up.
Hey, what's up, Dan?
How you doing?
Pretty good. I love the concept of this.
I'm sorry. What was the last thing you said?
I love the concept of this.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The floor is yours.
Sorry, say that again.
The floor is yours.
I've had shit start to the year. It's been a shit show. Lost my grandma in January.
Sorry to hear that.
Then family friend went through a mental health crisis, and the police pew-pewed him. And then another friend came into town for his service and OD'd. It was just a fucking avalanche of fucking, we'll call it a Q1. It was very tough. But like I just want like to remind people like you can get through things, man. Like don't ever hesitate to go to therapy. I'm still fucked up. I'm not there yet, but like don't like shit happens in life.
I just want to say, the strength that you're showing by coming up here, not just to have your voice heard, but to let others know that they can get through times as hard as you're going through. That's really strong, and I don't know what to say.
Hey, nothing needs to be said, man. Like, all I want to say is like, just if you're out there and you're going through some shit, like, you can be depressed. I've been dealing with some shit myself, but like, just keep on going.
Absolutely, and I 100% co-sign the point about therapy, for sure. Do not hesitate. The therapy stigma in this country, or maybe in this on this planet, is has genuinely led to people losing their lives. And if you ever need help, do not hesitate to reach out.
Yeah. Hey Dan, I love your channel, man, or your content. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you for being a part of the community. And if you're not already, you are more than welcome to join the Discord.
Have a good one, man.
You as well. I feel like our generations are better about mental health. I think so too. I do think this country's lack of universal healthcare, even if the stigma for getting therapy is less with this generation, it's still difficult to push yourself when you don't know if you're going to be able to afford it. And that's really, really frustrating. It also completely shits on Republicans' arguments about, oh, well, it's not the guns, it's mental health. It's like, okay, so you guys are for universal health care? Nope. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, I 100% agree. Free mental health care, 1,000%. There's also a shortage of therapists too. That I didn't know. But yeah, I'm going to do my best here. I'm probably not the best person to be equipped to have these conversations, but I am going to do my best. And we're going to go to the next guest now. Free dental, medical, mental. I don't even understand why dental is separate. My teeth are in my mouth. It's in my body. Yeah, and after COVID stress, more medical professionals are leaving the field. Hey.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. We talked a couple of times in earlier lives.
Yeah, I remember you being a bit of a comic relief.
Well, thank you. That is my goal. But I did want to come up and talk about, the devastation and destruction that Mattel is causing Candyland. And from what I understand, Legoland has surrendered without a fight.
Yeah, it's it is really heartbreaking.
Yeah. So my mental health, I guess, is doing fine. Even though with all the chaos and nonsense and right now, it seems like every day we're on the precipice of something worse happening.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
Oh, it is overwhelming. A guest earlier mentioned it. Overwhelming is the word. Sure.
Yes, and much of it is very difficult to understand. And we also know that a lot of it is just like what Steve Bannon said: throw a bunch of crap against the wall, see what sticks. Keep them talking about game shows for immigrants instead of the scams and the real serious
instead of the
things
cuts
that
to
are
Medicaid, instead of
right. A $5 trillion increase in the ceiling.
Yep.
Yeah.
Debt ceiling is right.
Right. Sean Duffy. Thank goodness he's a lumberjack.
Yeah.
He's going to help with the fires and the trees. I mean, oh my God. If Joe Biden sat there and said what Trump did during that interview, where he started off talking about drones in the Russia-Ukraine war, and ended up talking about Sean Duffy being a damn lumberjack, they would have carted him off the stage in a straitjacket.
Yeah, honestly, you could have just ended the sentence at if Joe Biden, and that's it, because the things that Trump is able to get away with that Joe Biden would have been crucified for. Accepting the plane. Oh, there was no way Joe Biden was getting away with that. The gaffes, the accidentally deporting the wrong people, the ignoring court orders, like all of this stuff. It would be news. It would be wall to wall news. But the Trump news cycle is just 12 hours, and then we move on to the next thing.
Right. Which all goes to how we always say you're in a cult. You're in a cult, maggots. That's all there is to it. He can do no wrong. Everything he says is correct.
Oh, thank you.
He never made.
Rome made a great point. If Joe Biden had thought that the M, the S, the 1, and the 3 on the dude's hands that were photoshopped, if he had thought they were real, that would have been the end of Joe Biden.
The end. The end. Yeah, it's so sad where we ended up with fellow Americans, and where they're at. It's disgusting. So hey, I'm going to leave you with this, Dan, because I don't want to take up your whole live. I'm sure you got other people waiting. Like I said, you and I haven't talked in a long time, and I recently received some bad health news. I found out that I'm addicted to Viagra, and nobody's taking it harder than my wife.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, I appreciate lifting the mood a little bit. No pun intended. Thank you so much for coming up.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Dan.
Is this the first live ever where I've liked every guest so far? Hey, Melissa. And now you've jinxed it? Yeah, here we go. Hi, welcome up.
Hi, thank you. First of all, thank you for doing this prompt. Because I think that even though we all, the non-MAGAs, the sane people of the country, we all know that we're not alone in being completely freaked out. In a lot of the lives, it's the crazy people who get a voice, who get platformed. And one of the things, so I'm a veteran. I spent 10 years in the Air Force at NSA, initially as a Russian linguist, and then on 9/11 I got switched to counterterrorism because my bachelor's degree is in terrorism studies. And then I ended up being the only Pakistani Punjabi linguist in the entire Department of Defense, until I had my fill of serving under Bush. I straddled Clinton and Bush from 97 to 07 as far as commanders-in-chief go. And serving in counterterrorism under the Bush administration, you can only do that for so many years if you actually have a soul, before you start wondering when you're not going to be able to look at yourself in the mirror anymore. And I had been submitting reports that were honest about what were happening and getting those kicked back, saying this doesn't support the president's agenda, this doesn't support the president's agenda. So I had already gone through something I felt was completely un-American, completely against the oath that all federal service employees take. And I think that our representatives and our president forget the fact that they are effing employees. They are not rulers. They work for us. And I was very young then. I was 19 when I joined. I thought that we would be finished with that phase, even though I saw where the bouncing ball was going as we, wrapped up Bush's administration. When Obama got elected, I remember I literally cried, because I was so proud of us for rejecting, I guess the word of today is mandate, for rejecting what a lot of people expected and supported out of Bush. I thought we were finished with that and that we could hold our heads up again. When Trump ran against Hillary in 2016, I was like, no way, we can't have 8 years of Obama and go to this. There's no way we're doing this. And then we did it. We picked him. And his first administration was bad enough. This one, and again, I saw exactly where the bouncing ball was going because I'm actually a person who has thoughts, and I read all 920 pages of Project 2025. And you see where the bouncing ball is going. And I've struggled with this administration. I mean, after the Zelensky meeting, I literally could not leave bed for 3 days. My blinds were closed. Luckily I work from home. Well, I worked from home because that's coming up. I kept my blinds closed in bed I felt so dishonored. I felt completely disgusted for having ever served this country. I felt disgusted to have 77 million people who takes carnal pleasure in talking about how much they support the military, how much they support veterans, and never missing a chance not only to disappoint us, but to stab us right in the back. They take the same carnal pleasure in the religious stuff that is just absolutely disgusting we're the protectors of women, we're the protectors of children, and just the outright hypocrisy of it has made me ashamed of having ever worn a uniform for this nation, like ashamed of having ever worn a uniform for this nation, of having ever been in support of half the population of this nation. I ended up losing my 6-figure job in March, the day after I was a director of sales for a luxury winery, and lost my 6-figure job the day after Trump announced he was going to do 200% tariffs on EU wine and spirits. And so now I'm a veteran. I have a master's in business administration. I speak 6 languages in total. And I'm being forced pretty much because there's no jobs at the executive level in the wine region that I work next to, or that I worked in and live next to. I live in California. I'm a single income in California. I'm not replacing my 6-figure job in this environment, in this economy. I can't afford to take a job that pays half what I was and stay in California on a single income. And as a veteran and an educated person, I am being forced to take my startup. I started an LLC and a consultant business that I'd actually started it during quarantine and then deactivated it when everybody went back to work and I got, busy with my winery again. So I deactivated my LLC. The day after I got laid off, I reactivated it. But the only way for me to survive as a highly educated, skilled, qualified veteran is I'm moving to Europe on September 30th. As soon as my lease is up, I'm moving to Europe where I can survive on my startup income and where I don't have to watch the war on women, the war on
the disabled,
immigrants, the war on children, because saying that they support children is absolutely nonsense when Georgia plays games to not be able to feed them when they're not in school and stuff. Like, it's just absolutely disgusting. And on the one hand, my mental health definitely suffers being here. I'm a news junkie and I have to take breaks from the news and then catch back up because I do believe that in order to be powerful, you have to have as much information as possible, and so that you can stay ahead of the curve. So I always catch back up on the news. So on the one hand, there's been a suffer in the mental health from that, but I also recognize that I'm extremely lucky that I have the first thing I did was I renewed my passport, even though I had 2.5 years left on it, to have a fresh, clean 10-year passport as soon as he got elected. I know that I'm very lucky to have an escape and be working for myself that I can do remotely, and that I had, if all else goes to absolute hell, then I'll be 47 next month. I'm way too young to be cashing in my 401k, but I do know if everything goes to hell, that I can take the big hit, take all the penalties, and I have something. So I know in that regard I'm lucky, and I know that I'm lucky that I can trust myself to survive it. I've survived worse. But the anger that I have felt building up, to even have to be here, to every time I hear these people get on, our vets this, and our women this, and our children this, and the underprivileged that, coming from the worst, most vile scum you can possibly imagine, and the absolute refusal to see the willful ignorance and the willful refusal to see that they are no better than 1930s Germany is just it's gobsmacks me, takes the breath out of my chest. And I don't think we're going to I'm not hopeful that we'll be able to vote our way out of this. I cannot imagine that with all the data that Elon was allowed to take, I can't imagine. There's 0% chance that Trump didn't tell him, make sure you use that on elections, because USAID wasn't only for helping with projects overseas and everything. USAID also oversaw election integrity. That was another thing that they were taxed with. And
so this is actually something that I think is a really interesting take. There's a lot of people that believe that Elon had a direct material hand in Trump winning the election. I'm not one of those people in regards to actual vote counts. But I obviously agree with his influence in terms of X and the misinformation. But in regards to future elections, that could be a very easy way to prevent us voting ourselves out of this, where data that should not have been made available to the richest man on earth is now available to him, and through future legal methods, now that he has this data illegally, prevent us from ever winning an election again.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And I think we're
very
going to
good
find
point.
that out in midterms. If the Republicans magically have enough seats in Congress that they can start deleting and amending constitutional amendments, changing constitutional amendments and deleting them and adding them, because they magically have enough seats in Congress to do everything legally, that's when we're cooked. And that's how Putin has been in power, even though everybody hates him. That's how fascist oligarchy works. You don't vote your way out of fascist oligarchy. It only changes with a tremendous amount of violence. And I don't think that there's enough of us who realize that that we have probably already lost the ability to vote our way out of this.
Yeah, enough of it. You're right. I was screaming this from the rooftops before the election, as was my community. Given what we know already, in that he was saying he wanted to be a dictator on day one, and he literally said to his audience, "You only have to vote this one time." In the fact that he tried to steal the election in 2020, and it would have worked had he had more sycophants, had he had more yes men. And we're gonna this time give him the power he didn't have last time. I just don't. I don't disagree with you. Like I genuinely, when I talk about the midterms, it's a hopeful talking that we'll even have fair midterms.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's a big if, and it's incredible to me how easily 77 million in the people in the country, because there's not I think there's a far larger percentage who still support him than there are for whom he's lost support. Now, maybe out of the 90 million who didn't vote, maybe he has swung a good portion of those over to like, ugh. But of
maybe
the
I should have voted.
Exactly. Of the 77 million who did vote for him, I don't think that he's lost a large percentage of those. And it's mind-boggling to me that these people who have bodily reactions to supporting him, like they're the same people who've always been Constitution this and Constitution that, and it's like, have you read that freaking thing? Like,
they haven't. To be clear, it's always clear who hasn't read the Constitution. By the fact that they would support somebody who is anti-constitution.
Yeah. So that's I don't want to take up your whole life here, but I appreciate you having people on for this check-in, because at least we get to have people here.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if this is the end of this country, I'm glad that we're finding unity before the end,
Before the end, yeah.
But
I'm looking forward to it. Once I'm in Europe, I'm kind of considering, because one of the fears that I've heard, I've been trying to talk my sister lives in Manhattan, and she has 4 kids, and she's a stage 4 cancer survivor twice. I've been trying to talk her into leaving, but she retires from teaching in 12 years and is worried about giving up pension and all this like nonsense stuff. And I'm like, I don't think you realize. And she's on our side. I forgot where I was going with that. I've been, and one of her arguments is, people in Europe hate us, and I don't think that she realizes that they don't. Like, she's heard that from somewhere. She's heard that from somewhere in Manhattan and heard it enough times that she believes it. So she's actually nervous for me going over there. She thinks I'll be ostracized, but I've traveled internationally by myself for 25 years now. And I've thought about starting a YouTube or TikTok or whatever channel from over there to give Americans like a real point of view for what it's like to abandon everything. I mean, at 47 years old, getting over an attachment to things. I mean, I'm literally selling everything in my house except for my German Shepherd and 7 suitcases worth of stuff. That's what I'm going over with. And that took a decision to detach from things. And I had to run an exercise of if my house was on fire, which isn't really that hard to imagine in California. If my house is on fire, what am I taking? And doing that drill with myself over and over and over again to really define what matters to me and what I truly need. I am giving myself the grace of putting all my books in storage until I get somewhere permanent, since my house isn't on fire. But I'm considering once I get there, as an American who just cut and run, for anybody who might be afraid, or for anybody who just may feel like it's this insurmountable elephant to eat, starting a channel to help quell any of those fears and be honest about it. If one city sucks, you move on to the other.
I think that's a good idea. For sure. Obviously, I know that many Americans don't necessarily feel the same way. Even if they do think we're on the wrong track, they're gonna go down with the ship, quote unquote. But for those that are in danger, and there are communities in this country that are in danger, I think that would be a very helpful channel.
Yeah. Yes, I will hopefully get that running shortly after I get there. But I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Of course, thank you so much for coming up, and thank you for your service.
My pleasure. All right, have a good night.
You as well.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, we're gonna go to the next guest very shortly. I did want to comment on something that I had seen in chat a little bit. This is a really pervasive piece of fake news from the left, which is a lot rarer than fake news from the right. Just so we're clear, obviously Donald Trump lies more than he breathes, but there is a few viral clips of Trump talking about the World Cup and the Olympics, and saying something along the lines of, well, I wouldn't be president for these events if they didn't rig the election. And so a lot of people assumed that was him admitting to rigging the 2024 election. And trust me when I say this, I want to believe that Kamala Harris did not receive fewer votes, because I don't want my faith in humanity to be gone. But the reality is he was referring to Democrats rigging the election 2020. And obviously they didn't. That's a lie in and of itself. Didn't he say that Elon helped him with the computers in PA? I swear I saw that clip. Yeah, so that clip was him referring to Elon making sure that there was no voter fraud, which is, I personally think, just him talking out of his ass. Because their intention was to sow doubt. Their intention was to sow doubt if they were losing, but then to say, oh, everything's good if they were winning. So we already saw that. Yeah, no problem. Bring back fine. We already saw that when he tweeted, there's voter irregularities in Philadelphia on election night. He tweeted that. Voter irregularities in Philadelphia. He was already getting things going. And then when it looked like Kamala was going to lose, actually Elon made sure everything was good. We're all perfect. So now I am less sure about the Elon thing than I am about the they rigged the election thing, because that I watched all of the clips that people are referring to, and I'm like, yeah, he's talking about 2020. If it does come out that Elon actually did fucking rig the election, I'm not gonna be shocked, but I just don't think that's the case right now. I do think Elon swayed the election with his influence, with his money, with his information, misinformation, with his propaganda machine. He spent $44 billion to buy Twitter and turn it into a Trump propaganda machine. So like, I definitely believe that he swung the election in that way. But in regard to actually like rigging and affecting vote counts, I would need to see evidence. And I'm not convinced. As viral as those videos were going at the time, I was not going to join that bandwagon without evidence. Okay, we're gonna go. Thank you, Annie, for the level up sparks. We're gonna go to the next guest now. Kaveen, I wish I had a foolproof answer for you. Annie, thank you so much for the serving penguin. Like, I'd like to believe that more and more people's eyes are going to be opened, but I don't know. Like the last guest said, it doesn't. While there are people that voted for him that are regretting their vote, it's not at a rate that is commensurate. Is that the right word? And it's not at a rate that's commensurate with how horrible of a person he is and how horrible his policies are. The fact that he had any support in 2024, let alone 2025, is mind-boggling to me. So I wish I had the answer. I don't want to be like a pessimist. I really don't, but I also don't want to lie. To those of you that are a part of the community, I don't know how we get out of this. Some of us need to just keep fighting. Some of us need to lay low and protect ourselves and those close to us. Some of us need to move to other countries. It at this point, all we can do is our best. Thank you, Arflu. It's going to come to a revolution. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot more likely now than it was 10 years ago, that's for sure. His propaganda machine is still in full flow. I think so. Something that I talked about, which I don't think it's ever going to happen, but it would be the thing that finally pushes me to moving out of this country. And this is a country that I mean, I grew up. I don't know any other country, my home. Which is if he actually went through with his plan to replace income tax with tariffs, that plan would essentially destroy the middle class, the lower upper class, the working class. It would turn us into a caste system with two classes, the rich and the poor. It would have been it would genuinely be the end of this country. And if revolution was going to be sparked, I think it would be the after effects of that. Now, I personally don't think violent revolution is ever going to happen in this country because I think the United States government's too powerful. But we're going to go to the next guest. Ariel, I mean, that was one of my tipping points. Everyone else's tipping point is different depending on who you are as a person. I wouldn't blame any woman or any trans person for wanting to leave the moment he won the election. And then with all the new stuff that's coming out, we're getting rid of the Department of Education. I wouldn't blame any parent for wanting to leave. Like, everyone has their own line. And some people have privilege and luxury to have that line further. The last guest even called out her own privilege. She said, I'm lucky to be able to do this because there are Americans that aren't able to. You keep forgetting the next guest. Yeah, okay, yeah, true. All right, here we go. Thank you, Queen Aaliyah. Thank you so much. There's one guest in front of you, by the way, Queen Aaliyah, and then you're up. Yeah, Annie, I don't blame you at all. The policies being put forth are very devastating to the disabled community, especially with the cuts in this new Republican budget. Okay. Okay, yeah. So we have Vanessa, then Queen Aaliyah, then Tanner, and then Dollar Bill. That's the order. Hey, welcome up.
Hi, how are you?
Doing all right. How are you?
I've been better, you know. My biggest mental health struggle right now is over the past 6 years, I've seen my father go deeper and deeper into the MAGA cult, and it's destroying the person I ever thought that he was. And so coming to terms with cutting him off has been really hard for me. But I think I finally hit that point where I need to put myself first and take care of me and care more about myself than about him. So that's my biggest gripe. I'm thankful that I have, other people in my life and friends and that support me and feel the same way that I do. And I'm so thankful for people like you, and I'm very close friends with Mermaid, that are doing so many good things and so many powerful things, even though, you know, it's a small little tad bit, you know, a little drop in the pond, but it's amazing to see people that truly want to make a difference, and I appreciate everything that you do. And yeah, it's hard out here. It's really hard out here. But yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of Americans going through what you're going through with your father, and it's so difficult. Thank you for the sub. It's so difficult when you've known someone your whole life. I mean, they helped raise you, and
Yeah.
then you just find out. I don't even know how to put it. Like you'd probably put it better. Um, you either find out that they were not the person you thought they were, or they became a person that you never thought they'd be.
Yeah, I struggled with that. And we talked a little bit about therapy earlier, and I was seeing a therapist for a while, and then I found out that they were MAGA, which was incredibly disheartening. After I had spilled basically my whole guts to them about, you know, my, you know, doomed relationship with my father. So that was really, really hard. But for me, it felt like the wool was pulled over from my eyes. Like I had this almost like you feel like your parents are untouchable. You feel like they're perfect. You know, you put them on this pedestal. And then you realize that at the end of the day, they're just flawed humans like you are, which is hard. And I know that it's his first time living this life as well, but I've tried so many times to go to his humanity and have conversations and be like, "Hey, you know, you have a daughter and you have a spouse, and like how are those things not enough?" You know, it hurts, but it's a lot. It's a lot to wrap your head around. But yeah. And Johnny. Hi, Johnny. But you people are amazing, and I am thankful every day that there are people like you that just give me a little bit of hope to continue to educate. Like my mom, she's 60 and she's on our side, and just continue to tell her things she doesn't even know, which is hard, but yeah. I don't want to take up too much time, and I don't want to make it too crazy sappy and sad. But I just appreciate all of you guys. I think you guys are really here to make a difference, and it's very refreshing. It's incredibly refreshing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much for allowing me to come up here, and I'll be in the comments just hearing everybody else.
Really appreciate it. Have a great night.
Thank you. You as well.
Something she touched on that I want to speak to a little bit here. I feel like okay, so this is gonna be me venting a little bit. Over the past 10 years now, and obviously every year it's gotten a little worse as more information is available, as more time has passed. I've felt like my faith in humanity, particularly my fellow Americans, is slipping away in a way where I almost so she mentioned it from a therapist perspective. That's a really good example. So you definitely don't want your therapist to be MAGA, right? Because clearly they're not in the right state of mind. Number one. Number two, probably something you're going to talk about is going to be related to what MAGA has done. So, like, and I mean, quick side note for me, my therapist, who I haven't seen in a while. I really should go back to therapy, at least a little bit. But my therapist is part of the 92%, so I never asked. I just assumed statistically. But I remember recently, this just happened, 2 weeks ago. I've told you guys some of the struggles I've had with my memory lately, and like the plan that the neurologist gave to go through with all that. And one of the tests that we were doing was the EEG. And I remember the technician for the EEG, while he was setting everything up, he was talking to me and Mac, small talk and whatever. And I don't know how. I mean, I guess I do kind of remember how it came up, but when he said that he voted for Trump, like I felt like a visceral, I don't want to say fear, because it wasn't a surgery, right? But it's like this guy clearly has something. There's something wrong with the way he thinks. So now, do I trust the results of this test? Like, should I even be here? And like this was a diagnostic, non-invasive test. But what if he was a surgeon? What if it was a lack of trust in his competence? Yes, yeah. I think about it sometimes. I think about it sometimes when I'm driving. Like, not all the time, obviously, because we drive a lot. But sometimes I'm like, if you were able to fumble so badly that you voted for a guy that tried to overthrow the government, right, and is going to raise your taxes essentially with tariffs, how can I trust you not to just slam into me, like, at a 4-way stop? Or are you really gonna let me go when I'm next? It's I genuinely view them the way I view Yahtzees. I do not trust them. Period. Yeah. That's where I've been headed over the past 10 years. It's like especially, and COVID really accelerated that in my mind. I remember I said 2016 like taught me how many like dumb people there are. 2020 taught me just how dumb they can be. When I saw how few people were willing to just put like a piece of fabric over their face to protect immunocompromised people, to protect the elderly, I really was just like, okay, so like I used to, growing up and until pretty much 2015, I used to assume the person I'm looking at, probably a good person. Yeah, they might not be. I used to assume. And now I found myself assuming the opposite. And that's not the type of person I want to be. Like, that's we're being forced to be that person, yeah. It shows a serious lack of societal empathy. I have to question your judgment in other areas. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just thinking. This isn't something I've verbalized before. I've thought about these feelings before, but I haven't verbalized them. Probably why I should go back to therapy. The pain I felt when I found out which family members voted for him. Yeah. It's like a deep betrayal of your fellow man. And like I said, it's developed over time. Like in 2016, it's one thing, right? It's like, okay, it's a bunch of people got conned, whatever. But like we're having people that are actively losing their humanity, their empathy. Maybe they've never had it. When they don't care, just if you're immunocompromised, don't go outside. Why should I have to put a mask on my face? When they don't care about, like, well, yeah, sure, they're getting deported to a concentration camp, but they should have came here legally. What? He caused us to need therapy. A lot of us, yeah. And so I find myself, like I said, whereas I used to assume someone was good unless they showed me a reason to believe otherwise, I find myself believing the opposite. And that makes me feel like a bad person. And it's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating. And it feels lonely. No, it really does. There are studies in the UK that show conservatives' fear center of the brain is lit up. Cynicism is easy to fall into. You aren't the only one that feels that way. Sorry to the guests that have been waiting. I'm gonna go to the next guest in a second. I needed to get that off my chest. Because when the last guest mentioned the MAGA therapist, that triggered that thought in me. I'm a federal employee and it's just a nightmare. Yeah, that's another. So like, the amount of like anti-vax nurses, that's scary. The amount of federal employees that are pro being anti-government, like it's like all the systems that we worked so long to build are just falling apart around us. MAGA has ruined both relationships with my dad and mom's marriage for me. Trump has emboldened the most vile people and radicalized the many others. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't even get started on people that are emboldened. Can you imagine that, like, the interview that I posted about with Piers Morgan, where that one lady was like, yeah, I have no problem with calling black people the N-word. Can you imagine someone saying that 10 years ago? Proudly. Please talk about how watching and listening to dump triggers victims of SA and narcissistic abuse. That's another really, really good point. Especially the amount of SA victims that were traumatized when they watched their fellow Americans, 77 million of their fellow Americans, vote for somebody who's found liable for SA. It's also, oh my God, I'm sorry, guys. I have more. Our children are watching this, and that goes both for little girls and little boys. So little girls are watching that their country and their fellow man don't care about them. I use man colloquially, their fellow citizen don't care about them. And little boys are learning to be hateful monsters. Like the schools where there were boys chanting "Your body, my choice" after the overturn of Roe v. Wade. What are we doing? I will say, Rocky, no, it's not just because of one man, because he needed an entire party to back him to allow this. that if and when we get out of this, okay, and that's a big if, they do not get to go back to business as usual. I'm sorry. Every Republican that allowed him to get away with an attempted coup, every Republican that backed him in the primaries when they knew he was a sexual assaulter, they don't get to skate out on accountability. Okay. Let me get to the next guest. Thank you for your patience, everybody.
Take a second, Dan.
Actually, you know what? Everyone take a second to drink some water. Make sure you're hydrated.
Good idea. I feel you. I'm crying right with you. It's rough right now. Well, I know you remember me from, frankly, last night because I was the one with the Discord issues. Yeah, your problem child over here. But we actually spoke a few months ago, and it was because my family was, they're very MAGA, my parents in particular, and I eloped and got married to an African American man. I myself am a white woman, so it's an interracial marriage, right? And they were fine with that aspect of things. They weren't fine with the fact that I eloped and didn't get married in a church because, well, MAGA logic, right? So that's the briefing. But I do have an update. So, in an attempt to kind of lighten the mood, I guess I'll give you like a little Reddit story update here. So my mom was more liberal. My dad has always been very conservative. For context, they met on Capitol Hill. They got married in Washington, D.C. I was their firstborn child. I was born in Washington, D.C. So very political, all in all. My dad didn't like Trump at first. Now he's gone completely MAGA, of course, at this point after, over a decade of brainwashing. And my mom kind of resisted it for a while until I found out just how brainwashed she was a few weeks ago. She told me verbatim on the phone, so I had flowers sent to her house for Mother's Day. She called to thank me. I was like, cool, you're welcome. Didn't really want to talk to you, that's why they were sent to your house and I didn't hand deliver them, right? She calls to thank me. I answered the phone kind of stupidly, I guess, honestly. But she told me that, she wouldn't consider herself a Republican. And I was like, okay, so what do you consider yourself as? She said she's a Trumper. I said, so you're MAGA? Like now, like all the way, like you fully committed? And she was just like, oh yeah, I'm MAGA all the way, baby. And she was so proud about it. It was the craziest thing. Like, I don't have a way to explain who my mom was before this for you to like really understand how weird of a turn that is for her. But like, it was freaking weird, dude. I just was like, that's terrifying. Happy Mother's Day. I didn't know what else to say, Dan. Like, I had no idea. So, there's that. However, she still loves my husband, which I'm like, okay, that's weird. But anyways, I thought I'd give you a bizarre kind of
update on that one. Yeah, literally, MAGA all the way, baby. I swear to God, that is what she said, word for word. Like, I'm not making it up. I'm sorry, I just saw the comment. I swear to God, that was exactly what she said. I was like, what in the world? Yeah, absolutely terrifying. No, I will not be talking to them anytime soon. And no, I won't be sending flowers next Mother's Day, but that is, yeah. Anyways, so if you ever really want to mess with somebody, just MAGA all the way, baby. It was very odd. Oh, do I sound weird?
Oh, the chat's saying you do.
Okay, hold on. It might be my headphones. 1 second. Let me fix it. But yeah, so that was one thing. Okay. Is that a little better for everyone?
Way better.
Okay, I'm so sorry. That must be, oh, my AirPods are out of date, so that tracks. Okay. So I did make a little list here. I'm almost done because I would love other guests to come up and talk. I love listening to other people and their experiences. But I just wanted to say that for some of the people in the comments, when you have to leave family that have turned into MAGA, it's not like super, super easy because you're remembering who they were prior to them being MAGA. And there's always going to be a little bit of hope in you that they're going to come back. And eventually you realize they're not going to. So just keep in mind that. So telling them to just leave a family member is not going to be super helpful. Because they're family, right? Like, you love them, you grew up with them, you know them. Do you agree with them? Absolutely not. And then in terms of, I know you talked about therapy. Make sure you find a good therapist, y'all. Please, please find a therapist that matches with y'all. Like, genuinely speaking, it is life-changing when you find the right one. Dan, same for you. I know you need it. We all need it. Honestly, in this environment and with the work you do, good God, I can't even imagine. And the last thing is, hold on, if I can read my own handwriting. I don't know how many people in here can resonate with this. There's a lot of family members or a lot of parent dynamics that we've had where there's a mom who is the genuine, most like nice, most kind, sweet human being ever, and a dad who's a complete a-hole, right? This MAGA cult will turn your mom into the a-hole too. You cannot make excuses for her anymore, and I hate to tell you that, but just, if anybody is going through that, please just hear me out on that. Like, you're not going to be able to pick one parent over the other, because at the end of the day, if that parent has been married to that person for such a long time, or that's the only person they've ever married, or they're Catholic like my parents, they're not leaving each other. So it's over with. Like, you've lost them both the second you lose one. And I don't mean that in a cruel way. I just am hoping that maybe that will kind of like give you a perspective that when that, or if, preferably if, that hits, it will not hit so hard, I guess. But yeah, so those are the only things I really wanted to say. And to everybody else who's going through something similar when it comes to family or being cut off, because MAGA will isolate you entirely. I mean, I can barely talk to my siblings. My brother, who's 9 years younger than me, had to send me an invitation personally to his graduation because my parents wouldn't tell me about it because they didn't want me there. So it's gonna be a little bit rough for a while, y'all. Dan, are you okay? You are not okay.
Floodgates opened with.
I know. Well, let him out. Go on. You're welcome. Let the floodgates open. Come on. You can do it. Also, thank you for your help. All right. Yeah, bye-bye.
To give you guys an idea of where my head's at. So just before that guest, I was talking about how our children are watching what's happening. Little girls are seeing their country doesn't care about them. Little boys are being emboldened to learn to be hateful, and I didn't speak on it at the time, but when I brought up the next guest, just talking about children reminded me of all the other ways we failed our children in this country, and I blocked this story out from my head. And I had just taken the Uzziah's card out of my my luggage. I took it with me to visit my brother and wanted to show him. And I procrastinated on packing, as I do. I'm sorry. I'm gonna bring up Neely. If anyone wants to, if one of the mods wants to bring up more guests, feel free. I'll be back.
Okay. Hey guys. One thing I wanted to talk about. First off, Dan, thanks for doing this, and you deserve to have somebody listen to you too. But one thing I was gonna say, I'm a mom. I have a 10-year-old daughter, a 13-year-old son, and it's scary, like having them growing up here now. But we have to remember, like, this is super important. Like, I know that there's a lot of moms for liberty and like all that out there. But there's also us, like we're raising kids too. And we're putting these values in them, and we're teaching them empathy, and we're showing them, why what is going on is wrong. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't hide stuff from my kids, and they know what's going on in the news, and they know what Trump is doing, and they know in detail, why things are happening the way that they are. And it's scary, and I do everything I can to make it not scary for them. But lack of information, lack of knowledge about what's going on will save nobody. That's not going to save anybody. And I think that as much and as red-pilled as so many of like kids who are growing up are, I mean, all they have is that surface level. And I have to believe this cult is going to break. I mean, there will be a point, everybody has a line. And whether they know what that line is yet or not, they have a line. And they will get there. The only ones who want to be like people who don't have anyone in their lives, you know, and like literally all they have is Trump. And you know what? Fuck them. We don't need those. I'll say that now. But I mean, guys, we are out there too. We're also raising kids. We're raising this next generation. And we're fucking angry this time. You know, it's not a sit there and, you know, why aren't they behaving? Why aren't the Republicans following the rules? Fuck that. They're not following the rules anymore. And at the midterms, we have to get people in there who are not going to follow the rules anymore. And I watch the current Democratic leadership, you know, continue to put old white men, you know, on committees and put them in places, put them in this chair and, you know, just blow off the younger generation, the new generation. And man, they're going to learn a lesson. You know, it's like, I know Trump and Elon and everybody's like, oh, we're going to primary you. And it's like, okay, well, you know what? We got the same thing going and we have really good backups to come in. Whereas they just have the same fucking MAGA weirdos lined up. So I don't know. I think, Dan, I'm glad you're back because I did want you to hear this too, that I think that we are doing a really good job with our kids too and teaching them that this is not okay. I mean, my 10-year-old, literally she and one other person in her class, everybody else voted. Everybody else's parents are MAGA. And so like the day after the election, you know, like it was her and her friend who like knew about Harris and, you know, what she stood for and how awful Trump was, and everybody else, they had that, just that parrot thing, you know, that those talking points. And Michael Scott, I muted you before, I'll mute you again. Stop. So, you know, and she knew, like they didn't have any information. My kid knew, you know, all about Trump's concepts of a plan and about what Harris was going to do. And I don't know. I think we keep on fighting the way that we're fighting. We cry when we need to cry. And we're not giving up. We're not letting this go. Dan, I know it feels super hopeless sometimes. I do this too. Right now, I don't feel hopeless. So that's why I'm up here. But man, what you're doing right now, Dan, it's all of us. It's cyclical. We have days when we feel like we could take them all down. And we have days when we feel like we're done. And we just got to go. But I don't know. This is too important, you know? I'm with you. This is the only place I've ever lived. This is my home. And I'm not the kind of person who's going to pack up all my suitcases and leave. I know me. That's terrifying to me. So fuck them. They don't get to keep this country. This is not theirs. They hate this country. They're trying to change everything about what made this country great. I've never been so patriotic in my freaking life, I gotta say, as I am now. And I'm not letting go. So you know what? When days like you're having, Dan, we're strong than those days. And days when I feel like you're feeling right now, you be strong those days. We trade off. Deal?
Deal.
Right on. You want me to stay up and bring somebody up?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Starscream, only you have that power. You want to put up a guest?
No, I can.
Oh yeah, Dan, you have that power. They gave you those permissions?
They did. they let anybody have nowadays.
Fools. Gosh, I gotta talk to them.
Kathy, Whitney, Linda.
Let's go next. Marco in the box.
Hey Dan, how's it going?
How are you?
I'm hanging in there. So I'm the federal employee that was in the comments that said it's just been a nightmare. I live in Alaska, a very red state, and unfortunately, a lot of people that I considered friends that were customers that would come in to where I work, they still side with Trump and MAGA, and I'm just like, at this point it's become a moral battle, and I think that's what a lot of us are struggling with. Is it's not so much what they're saying, but it's the fact that these are not just political, these are moral beliefs that people are standing on. And one of the hardest things for me was that one of them was like, well, January 6th was okay. Like, none of those people should have been prosecuted. And I said, why do you believe that? They said, well, because nobody died. Excuse me? And these were former service members. These are veterans that served our country. And I'm just like, how are these words coming out of your mouth? Like, all the things you fought for in Vietnam, everything, like all these rights you fought for us to have, and you're just throwing them to the side because you think that that's okay. And on top of that, you know, as a federal employee, I've been a federal employee 10 years. I've had to wonder every day if I'm going to have a job or not.
Yeah.
And I was essayed by my ex-husband. So when Trump got in, that was a trigger for me. And the fact that people can come into my place of work and wear like Trump hats, MAGA hats, I was like, you know, I understand, like, he's, you know, my commander in chief, but at the same time, like, why are we wearing that stuff on a military installation? When it triggers people, and the fact that I have to write 5 things that I do every single week to justify my job, and then on top of that, worry if I even have a job to come into. Nobody knows if things are going to be happening. We had to raise our fees at my I work at the fitness center on base. We had to raise our fees triple what they were, and people are livid. Customers are livid. These are active duty family members, you know, retirees. And they're like, well, why is everything going up? And we're like, well, you guys voted for this, respectfully. This is what you all wanted, and this is what you put in. And they're like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, Congress wanted us to just shut everything down. So would you rather have the service available at all or not? And it's just like, you guys aren't understanding it until it slaps you in the face. And even then, some people still don't care. And it's like, at what point, like, I'm kind of like you, Dan, where I'm losing hope, but I still am seeing some effort and hope that something is going to come of this. But it's like watching the news, it's just like, how much more embarrassing can this country become?
Yeah.
I mean, it's already bad enough we have who we have as our president, but then the people that he's electing, it's just like the morals and the foundations. And I think what is hurting all of us so bad, and I'll just end with this, is that there's no, like Dan said, there's no going back to everything that we had before. Like this is, it's when Roe versus Wade got overturned, that was there. That's not going to just come back. It's not going to be reversed. It is now law. And I think that's what's scaring all of us, is none of us know at what point is enough, and at what point are we even going to be able to turn back and come back to half of what we were.
Yeah. Whitney, I'm really sorry that you're having to like re-experience all of this every day. with everybody walking in and knowing that they voted for him, and you knowing exactly what it's hurting. And I can't imagine having to just be face to face with it all the time. I'm so sorry.
I mean, at some point we all have to stand up, and I appreciate that, but there has to be some of us that stand up. And, I put on my 5 bullets for the 2 weeks that I went. I said I went downtown and made friends. Obviously, we all know what that means. But I said I went downtown and I participated in social gatherings and made new friends.
Right on.
So everyone just hang in there. There's going to be a light at the end of this, no matter where we go. But we just have to hold on to that little bit of faith that we have and know that there are people with us, and just keep those people and surround us with those people. And I know, Dan, that's harder for you because you do these political debates with people, but just remember, like, there is a rhyme and a reason for why we're doing what we're doing. And there is still people standing up for the values and morals of this country. So don't give up, okay? We love and appreciate what you do. You're an amazing human being.
Whitney, if you ever need anything, please reach out.
I appreciate it, girl. Thank you so much.
For sure. You hang
Right.
in there.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for coming up. Hey, Tic Tac.
Hey, man, how are you?
Here.
Yeah.
Hey, Tic Tac.
Don't forget to drink water and take your meds tonight, bud. It's important.
Absolutely.
I came up. I was I was watching a show. It was a few months ago, last year sometime, and they had a child psychiatrist on, and she was talking, and it was really interesting, man. It caught my attention pretty quick. She was talking about children who had experienced trauma early in childhood, extreme trauma. I'm not just talking, mom didn't hug me enough. This was extreme trauma these children were going through, and she worked with them for years and years. She said there's a point in the therapy with children who have gone through these things that at the end of the therapy, there's always a regression. And their regression, it's typically they lash out. It's extremely violent. There's a lot of manipulation involved, but there's always a period at the end of the therapy with children that they regress for a time being. And then after that, it just works. They just kind of stop and they become just
extinction burst.
I'm sorry?
Is this extinction burst?
I don't know what that is.
It's a little different. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Dan.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
So I think the point of what she ended with was she compared it to America and what America has experienced right now. She said America is white supremacy, and the white supremacy is the trauma America has experienced through its birth for the last 250 years. At the end of that, we elected a black president.
Oh.
And this is white supremacy regressing because of that. Like the therapy is almost over for it, was her point. And the electing Donald Trump after having a black president is literally white supremacy screaming its head off right now. Its last attempt, it's agonal breathing because it's dying. And this is what we're seeing. But the point of it was, just like those kids, once this regression is over, once this trauma is over, we're okay.
Dan, you're right.
It's okay.
Sorry, Tic Tac, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay.
But you guys were both talking about the same. That is, so extinction burst that's the term for that. That is that it's that last tantrum.
Oh, I've never heard that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it actually had maybe, you know what? They might have mentioned that. I just didn't recognize what they were talking about.
Yeah, so but yeah, you explained it amazingly. That's perfect. And it's a tantrum.
I just explained it as the psychiatrist did.
Well, you remembered it beautifully. How about that?
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
But I thought it was fitting. I thought it was fitting with what America, like, I don't know, man. What's our other choice? Even Germany ended up okay after all that shit went down. After 1945, they kind of settled down a little bit.
That's a
Thank
great
you.
thing to remember, actually. I know it took some decades. Sorry, Dan, go ahead.
No, I'm just like a TikTok. Sorry, I'm talking over you.
No, I'm terrible at talking at the same time. But TikTok, that's good to bring up, though. I mean, I know obviously post-war Germany was not the place to be, and they had to go through quite a bit of growing pains. But if you look at Germany now, after what that country did, it's I mean, it's not that long of a time, and people think that was a long time ago. It was not a long time ago.
I think the difference here, and Cray kind of touched on it. Germany is ashamed of what they did, but America,
100%.
America doesn't seem to be, or at least half of it.
Not yet.
Well, but that's because we're here right now, though, too. You know what I mean? There was a point when it was starting, like in if you look at 1936, they weren't, so.
Yeah, but our history is, we've had fascism within our country since forever, ever, right? We've been practicing this.
This is overt fascism, but we've had.
Yeah, this is just out on the table now.
Never really thought about
it. It was blatantly fascist all the way up until the 1960s, and then they just hid it better. Let's be honest. Germany literally took our ideas for Jim Crow. That's what we did to black people. That's what they did to Jewish people.
Yes and no, but yeah, I hear you.
No, 100%. It's 100% what we did. We just did it over a larger time frame.
Okay.
It was more concentrated there.
I hear that, yeah. For sure.
I'm gonna bring up the next guest.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll bounce out. I was trying to help. Maybe I
No. That was TikTok. Thank you.
You're good. Absolutely. I appreciate you coming on. Honestly, your voice has a soothing effect on me. Oh.
It's
For
this
all
new
of us.
mic. I'm telling you,
Is
it's
it
this
the-
new mic. I got it off the TikTok shop.
Good
All
night,
right,
Lizzie.
y'all. You guys be safe. I hope your day gets better. I hope your night gets better. Get some sleep tonight. Drink water. Take your meds. Take an Ambien. Get some good sleep, guys. Yeah, have a good night. Be safe.
Thank
You
you
as well.
TikTok.
Hey, Dan. Hi, Neely.
Hey.
Stupid question, but how are you guys doing?
A little better than 2 minutes ago.
Good.
I'm still in strong mode, so we're good.
Aw.
How you
good.
doing? Not in a Joey Tribbiani kind of way.
I'm okay. It breaks my heart to see you like this, Dan. I'm echoing. Let me mute real quick and see if that helps.
It's probably me. I'm gonna mute while you talk.
Okay, it might be me because I know I was muting earlier on another live, but I really do think it's just so thoughtful of you to be having this live. My voice is literally shaking. You intimidate me in like a good way, but I get so nervous to come up here. I think the only time I've actually come up on this panel was when that asshole was like tearing into you, and I was sick. I was like half asleep. And I think I woke up to him yelling at you, and I was like, oh, hell no. And I hopped up to like try to defend you. Probably didn't do a good job. But yeah, I always just get really nervous to come up here. But I had to because I just think this is really nice of you. And I wanted to let you know that some days I am so depressed that I cannot get up. Like, I'll get up to do what I absolutely have to do, like walk the dog and get my son ready for school and, whatever. But if I'm able to, I will just sit or lay on the couch all day long sometimes. And then this is going to sound so corny and probably just stupid, but it's the truth. When you go live, I don't know exactly what it is. I think it has a lot to do with you just being such a genuine, good person, but something in me like switches and I'm like, oh cool, Dan's live, and I get up right now. I just swept my entire kitchen, dining room, and family room. Did a whole half, well, I have like a double sink, half of it was filled with dishes. I did that. I cleaned the cat litter. Like, it gets me up, it gets me doing the things I need to be doing, and I'm so incredibly grateful for that. You also have such like an engaging community. When I come in here, you know, you type in the chat and like people actually respond, and if I say something to somebody, like they'll say something back. Like, it's just unlike a lot of other lives where we all get to know each other and get along and, you know, love on each other. And I love that, and I just really appreciate it more than I can even say. I also resonate with so much of what you say. I relate to you in, like, it's crazy. You say things and I'm like, what? Me too. So often, like with your memory, I think maybe it's stress, but my memory is so freaking bad these days, man. It's like, I can't think of the most simple words. I'll be in the middle of a sentence and forget what I'm talking about. Like, it's just really, really bad. And then the doctor thing that you said too, I have a surgery on June 4th and the guy seems great. It's an elective surgery. It's something I've wanted my entire life, and I'm finally able to get, but he seems wonderful. But it is very expensive, and I've already had like my pre-op appointment, and all I wanted to do, I could hardly even listen to him telling me, you know, what I needed to do to prepare, because all I wanted to do was ask him who he voted for, because I just feel like if you voted for Trump, I don't want your hands on me. I don't want to give you my money. I want to be mindful with what I'm spending my money on, you know? And then that also goes to where I do try to be very mindful of where I spend my money, but I do have a little bit in stocks, and I want to pull it out because I'm like, you know, I don't manage it, but I'm sure my, whatever he is, financial advisor has my money in the places, like the bad places, like, you know, like the people I don't want to be supporting. So it's like I don't know, it's tough for me. I am a single mom. And so I obviously want to be just like everybody else. I want to be making as much money as I can so that I can give my son a good life. But I don't want to be supporting bad people. So it's a moral kind of, I can't think of the right word, but just back and forth all the time. And what Neely said about, you know, we're raising kids to be empathetic and, you know, that sort of stuff. That's something that gets to me every single night. I sit there and like, I can't help but go over things that have happened that day and wonder, like, am I being the best mom I can be to him? Like, am I teaching him to care about the right things? And, you know, I don't know. He's 14 years old, so he's right at that stage where I mean, I'm a pretty annoying person as it is, but he's like super annoyed with everything I do. And he plays a lot of video games, so I don't get to spend like a ton of one-on-one time with him. And I just wonder, like, am I doing this right? Am I teaching him to care about others and like stick up for people if they're being bullied? And, you know, if I ever heard him say some shit like, your body, my choice, oh my God, I don't even know what I would do. So I worry about that constantly. I do try my best. And when he does come down here, I try not to let him see me moping around and stuff like that. But I wanted to tell you, this has been the highlight of my month. Do you know this song? It was actually written during Trump's first term. It's called like FDT. It's my dog throwing her bone around, if you can hear that. Sorry. But it's called Fuck Donald Trump. And it has, shit, I can't even think of, see, my memory. I'm also like nervous, but it has Macklemore. He's not the main singer in it. You know that song, Neely?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So
we've played it before.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, I freaking love that song. And I love to blast that song when I'm like driving down my street, just so that people know, like, you know, I don't fuck with him. But my son we were driving his friend home the other day. His friend lives like 40 minutes away, so we had a long car ride home, and I had my playlist on. And he's 14, so like I won't listen to real crazy songs. Like if they're cursing or saying like real dirty words, like I won't listen to that. But this song came on, and I don't know, something in me, I was like, I don't like, whatever, we're gonna jam. So I turned it up, and I was in a silly mood. I was just in like a goofy mood that day. So I started like rapping along with the song and really getting into it, like hand motions, like crazy, kind of swerving the car back and forth. Like I was being safe, but I was being fun. And the part where, he's like, your politics are like a pack of Starbursts. Why nobody fucks with the orange ones? And I like looked at my son and did like I can't show you like what, but I was like making these motions, hands motions and things. And he turned his head and was laughing. I have not made my son laugh. Like everything I did used to make him laugh. And all he used to want to do is spend time with me. And now he's this cool 14-year-old who is always like, Mom, seriously? Or not even, bruh, seriously? And I made him laugh. I actually made him laugh. And I loved it so much that just, oh my God, it keeps me, I keep thinking about that. And
that is a huge win. I got to tell you that. A huge win. Oh my God. You didn't roll his eyes at you?
No, and he normally absolutely would if I'm singing along to the song, or especially rap. Like, oh my God, no, it was really, really cute. So I listen to that song probably every time I'm in my car, like by myself, and every single time it comes on, I remember like, oh my gosh, I made him laugh, and he actually enjoyed being with me for 3 minutes. But
when you're sitting there doubting whether or not you're doing this right, that moment, I mean, they're not going to give you many more moments than that. That is the evidence that you're doing this right.
Oh, thank you.
1,000%. Yeah.
Thank you. I try to tell him as much as I can about kind of like what's going on. I have a weird relationship with my mom right now because she's one of those like people who doesn't actually know anything about what Trump's done or what he's planning on doing, but and she didn't get to vote for him this year because she was moving from Ohio to Pennsylvania, and she just like wasn't able, I don't know, she didn't plan things properly, thank God, but she would have voted for him if she did vote. And that's her thing, is she always says to me, he's like, I didn't even vote for him. And I'm like, but you would have. And one of the last times I talked to her, she goes, I'm glad, she never says Kamala's name right, but she said she's glad she didn't win. And oh my God, I'm like, why would you ever? It's just like, I want to cut ties with her so very badly, but she needs me. I help her financially. I help her in like so many ways that I feel guilty if I don't. So I haven't cut ties with her yet, but my son does know that there's like some tension there. So I've told him, I've tried to explain to him a little bit about why that is. And so I feel like, if he's listening, I feel like he knows kind of what's going on politically a little bit, but I don't want to I don't want him to be like depressed like I am, you know what I mean? So I try to kind of keep it kid friendly a little bit. And then he wants to go to a public high school next year. He'll be in 9th grade, and I do not want him to because of the pew-pews mainly. And he says I'm overreacting and that sort of stuff doesn't happen around here. And I'm like, Thomas, that is what everybody says until it does, or not everyone, but that's what people say until it does happen around there. There's no saying that it's not going to happen around here, so that terrifies me. It keeps me up at night thinking about that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to go fast so that, what else was I going to say? Oh, the only other thing I was going to say was, besides just how much I seriously appreciate you more than I can even say. And I know that's what do they call that when you are obsessed with somebody over the internet?
Parasocial.
Parasocial, thank you. Yeah, totally.
I think we all know that word. Come on.
Yeah. But I don't care. I appreciate you. And as many people that are out there thinking Trump is gonna, help America in some way, or Trump came from the loins of Christ himself, or whatever the hell they think. At least we know that there are people out there that know he's full of shit. And, you see everybody in your comments and stuff, at least there are some people that know the truth. So that gives me a little bit of hope. And oh, my lawnmower broke, my nice riding lawnmower, and I was upset about it, but it's okay because I got this little old school push mower. It doesn't even have like a motor. It's one of those ones that just spins.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I thought it would be cool because it would like give me a workout and I'd be out in the sun. I'd actually be doing something.
Do you regret your choice now?
Well, I did. I did very much so because I was like sweating my ass off. I had open heart surgery a few years ago, so I'm already not really supposed to be doing a whole bunch of, like really physical work. But my yard has like a bunch of divots in it, and the thing was used, so it's like rusty. It's kind of crappy. But I was out there, and what do you know? I'm obsessed with frogs and toads. I saved a toad off the road in the rain. It was like all busted up. Its eye was missing and it was like bleeding and its leg was broken. I saved it last summer and I've had him ever since. His name is Wellington and I love him to death. And I was, unalivement. I was out in the yard trying to do that, use that mower. And oh my gosh, I have, what are they? Gray? No, it's not gray. I forget what they're called. Gray tree frogs or something like that. I have counted 7. Dan, Neely, I have counted 7 out in my yard.
Oh my God. See, you never would have found those.
I never, and you know what? I might have run over them with the riding mower. Yeah. Total silver lining, totally awesome. So now that's another reason to get me up and I like make my way out to the yard and look for them like every few days and it's wonderful. So that's how I try to look at things is even though they may seem like really shitty or they are really shitty at the time, I try to find a silver lining and I don't know, a lot of the time, it's hard to find, but I will let you go. Dan, I just thank you so much. If you ever need anything, I don't know how to do like a multi-person live or else I think this is a great idea to just let people check in and things like that. But if you ever need anything, please reach out to me. I live very far away from you, but still I'm here if you need anything. Same goes for you, Neely.
Same thing back at you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having this, you guys. It'll be okay. I mean, hopefully let's just try to keep fighting and doing what we can. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but that's what I'm going to try to do. So,
right on.
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you guys.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah, no, thank you. Have a good night, Dan. Well, I'll stay here, but I will see you later, okay?
All right.
I'll see you now. I'll talk to you later.
You're like, how do I say this? What?
I know, right? Okay, thank you guys. Love you.
Have a great night.
You too. Thanks.
Wait, I wanted to really quickly mention something I saw in the chat. Somebody mentioned the idea that there are probably a lot more people than we realize who are regretting their votes and realize that things are getting really bad but they're not at the point yet where they're either ready to say it out loud to themselves or to come out to their community, their families, whatever it may be. But I believe that too. I mean, it used to be that there were people who were closeted racists, people who were closeted bigots, people who, were actively working against like a better society, and bringing people together. And I feel like that really has flipped because they're so, MAGA is so emboldened right now. And so the scary part for them now is speaking out against it. And as much as like we in this community, in this TikTok whateverness, see the worst of the worst. I mean, Dan, you have to talk to them. It's horrible. But like, that's, there are people out there who voted for him. I mean, we've also talked to those, the people who it was like, they're just selfish jerks and things like that. But like, then they're like, oh shit, people are actually getting hurt. I mean, there's a teeny tiny spark of conscience in somebody that's gonna get lit up eventually. And yeah, I think that there's a lot more closet vote regretters than we know about right now. So
hope
yeah.
so.
Me too.
So a couple of quick comments regarding what that Love Live was saying. I 100% agree about this community. I don't really agree about what she said about me, but that's neither. This community is really something else. And if there's a group that that is restoring my faith in humanity, I think it starts here. So I want to just thank the community. I don't know which of you. I didn't know this was a thing on TikTok. I don't know which of you. I don't know what feature this was, or who told TikTok that you were worried about me. But I appreciate that.
Aw.
I'm gonna be fine. Letting it out. It's an auto feature. Wait, did the AI pick up that I was crying? What?
TikTok's worried about you, Dan. They just didn't want to tell you. They were embarrassed, so they said someone.
The background? Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay. Bring up the next guy. The TikTok AI said, "This guy seems sad."
Hey, friends.
Caffeine.
Hi. Dan, why don't you have a cat in your arms?
Ooh, that is a good question.
They're both sleeping.
Well, that's rude. I just wanted to say, okay, I understand the echo now. I get it. Thanks. I just wanted to say that I really sympathize with the previous guests who have MAGA parents. I can't imagine what that's like. Like when I go to my mom's house, we just talk shit about Trump the whole time. I couldn't imagine it being the opposite. But I just wanted to remind everyone that it's completely valid to feel overwhelmed and frustrated and hopeless. Millions of other people are feeling the same way. Make sure you lean on your community, keep organizing. Remember that change doesn't happen overnight. I know the mental burnout can be real, but that's what they want. They want you to feel powerless. That's how they maintain control. And I know I have a problem with this as well, but I want to remind everyone to take time, turn off the news, turn off the TikTok debates. Don't immerse yourself in it 24/7. I know a few of us do that because I see you throughout the day in other lives. But remember to take breaks, protect your mental health so that you can keep fighting. If you rest, that doesn't mean you're surrendering. It's necessary.
That's a great thing to point out.
And stay off Twitter. And most of Facebook.
True. Facebook and Twitter are cesspools.
For real.
Yes, having some kind of hobby helps. Even just, they say joy is resistance. Just try to do something every day that makes you happy. You don't have to be immersed in it 24/7. I know it feels like you can't get out of it sometimes, but you have to.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Caffeine.
Yes, stay engaged, demand accountability from your representatives and the others around you. Keep supporting one another. Remember that more people voted against Trump than for him.
Hell yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you
Love
too.
you, Caffeine.
Night.
Yeah, everybody needs breaks. That's okay to take breaks. It doesn't mean you're giving up. It just means you need a second.
Hello, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
I get a smile from you. Awesome. Well, I'm going to send you hugs from New Hampshire to my brother. You are my brother. You are my friend. You have done a lot for me. And if you want to talk, I'm here for you. I'm all ears. You can message me, call me on my phone. And like I said, you have done so much for me, and I want to be there for you, my friend. I love you. You're a good man. I'm not trying to make you sad. I want to see that smile again. And I'm not going to stay here long. I just want to let you know I got your back.
I love you too, Dan. Thank you so much.
Okay, please drop me down because, have a great night. Thank you, my friend. You're a great man.
You as well.
Thank you.
Truer words never spoken. I'm gonna have to drop down because I gotta go do bedtime.
Thank you. You really helped me out.
Hey, I'm always here, man. You have my back so much, and I've got yours when you need it. Except for right now when I have to do bedtime. All right, I'll be back. Love you, Dan.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
This week is just for crying lives.
Hello?
Hey.
Hi. Is my audio okay?
Well, it was for a second. Hold on. Go again.
Is my audio okay? Okay, good. Because like I'm on like a puck charger. Like, do you know like the phone chargers you just put your phone on? Yeah, like it's really dinky. But anyway, do you want like the funny story or mental health check-in first? Because I know that this has been like a really emotional night for everyone.
I'll take the funny story first.
Okay. So I remember a few days ago, when you were you were live, but at the end of it, I made a joke and said that one time you said that YouTube chat was your favorite, and then I got accused of being a mole, and I didn't get due process after, and I got accused of being a mole the whole time. Okay, so let me. So first of all, this was months ago, and this was like right when TikTok was being banned. I see the mole allegations already. This was when TikTok was being banned, so obviously like YouTube chat was like popping. But anyways, I just thought that it was really funny that people were accusing me of being a mole, because the only time, and I will admit, the only time that I was ever a mole, and I admitted this on that night, was and I'm not going to bring up any like drama stuff, but the only time that I was a mole was, I'm going to use a nickname, was when 4-Leaf Clover was stalking you, and I kept going between your chat and their chat and bringing back the information here. That's the only time I've ever been a mole was for you. So it's crazy. So it's crazy that I got that allegation. I just thought that it was really funny, but I thought it was a joke until Mermaid was live one time. Mermaid was live one time a few days ago, and someone said the Daniverse loved her. So true. And she said, yeah, I watch I'm in there all the time watching his lives. I saw you guys call out the mole. So no way I'm getting these allegations. And like to me, bro, I'm like 18. Yes, I voted. I was born October, so but for me, I'm like 18. You guys are like kind of like celebrities to me. So it's just like no way
I'm getting this accusation and it's spreading around like this.
Yeah, and it's started as a joke, but then it's like a game of telephone, and it gets spread as if it's
Yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah. And I don't even know what the mole stuff is about, but I'm not even in the Discord because I don't know if you can tell my voice is like shaking right now. I'm so nervous. But I'm not even in the Discord, so I would just thought it was really funny that had happened. I thought that maybe you could use a little cheer up.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But on the other hand, for like mental health check-in, I just resonated with like MAGA family members because right after the election, and like I'm 18, I wasn't really into politics that much, but I'm part of like the LGBTQ community. This is a very big part of my life, and that kind of got me into activism in just like multiple areas. So I've always noticed like this Trump has been around since I was in 4th grade. I've been making fun of this guy. He's been in my life in this like he's been
Yeah, this is
like
something
just annoying.
This is something I've thought about before. For people that like just turned 18, you've been watching him run for president since you were 8.
This guy needs to get out of my life. It's not. It's like, but when I found like, I'll get to what I was talking to. When I found your lives right after the election, I definitely started to get into politics. So I just really thank you for that, and also I just resonated like you just couldn't believe it after the election. Like you were like the way that you were speaking with the guest was exactly how I was thinking. It was like that I recognized that kind of like that East Coast crash out, that be very passionate about what you were talking about. And I really was excited to find someone authentic and genuine about that because you have to be really careful with who's being performative and who's not. But genuinely, I thank you for that. And also, so yeah, this has been annoying me for years. I was in 4th grade since this guy's been around in the political field. And I thought my whole family was kind of on that same page. And it got to the point like when this election kind of came out. Oh wait, did someone said trigger word?
You said performative, and that.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I'm so sorry.
it's fine. It's fine. It was a big part of drama number 7. So. Oh.
Right. Sorry, but I just meant in like as I see you guys as celebrities, because I just mean like celebrities get canceled all the time. But anyways, my family, like my cousin specifically, she was one of the first people I really like came out to. So when she was like, I was itching to talk to someone after the election about what had just happened, and I was hanging out with her. Suddenly, I start talking about it, and she's like, "Well, I voted for him 3 times in a row, and I don't get." And now I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm not afraid to admit it anymore. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is crazy. She was really like emboldened by it, and we got into a whole like conversation. And it's really like her main topics were like, of course, like tariffs, which we had she's 30 years old, I'm 18. She doesn't know what a tariff is and how it works, and she thinks that they pay for it. And oh my god, it was just not. So that was a whole other conversation. But when I was like, it was really when she was talking about like T athletes, the 10 T athletes, and she's talking about or like education or like LGBTQ education. And that's where I really get like angry because she's like, of course she's het. So, and I'm the first, like on that side on my mom's side of the family, like I'm the first like LGBTQ person on that side of the family. So when she's talking about like, oh, well, I don't think that should be taught to kids. And like, I could tell a kid that the sky is purple and they would believe it. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. I don't like it when people are kind of I don't know if I can or I'll say smexualizing because I don't know TikTok language that much. This is the first time I've ever come up on anything. I don't like when people.
I usually don't censor anything on live, so you could.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember that live when you were just like when TikTok was just being banned. That was really funny. Just saying all the words that we thought we couldn't say on the lives. But anyway, yeah, I just don't like it when people smexualize this group, because when you come after one person, like I don't, especially people that are saying like gays for Trump, absolutely not. That is disgraceful in my opinion, because when you come after one part of the group, you come after everybody, and we've seen this in this administration. So, and in reality, we just want to live. We just want to live. So that's the kind of mental health check-in that I wanted to get to. Like, as a young person that's part of the LGBTQ community and seeing people that are like also a part of this community, it's just so terrifying. It's really terrifying seeing where we're going. And I've been talking to my friends. I've lost one friend. I still have two. And I've been talking to them about it. And we're going into college soon. And it's like, dude, he's going to be here for 4 years. Almost the whole time we're in college. Oh my, it's
Like
insane.
your whole life.
It's literally, yeah, it's insane. He's just everywhere. It's just horrible. And I really feel for people who feel isolated and also have those kinds of realizations with their family. And especially like I have to be really aware that I come from a straight like white family. I need to deconstruct this. I need to figure out how this has influenced me subconsciously or not in my life. And I kind of have to realize like who am I related to? So I know that a lot of people are going through that right now, but it's needed. It's really needed, especially right now. And it's not something to save for later. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of help people feel as if they're like less alone. And I've had so much like that East Coast trauma that what's going on over like I've so much has gone on in my family. And so I definitely have so many situations where I've unfortunately had to like separate from family or just give a moment. And with my friends, I view them as family, and especially with this community. So I want people to kind of just know that although this is kind of parasocial, and I'm kind of just talking to a screen right now, this does not feel real. And I'll probably freak out about my social anxiety after this. I just want people to realize that these are real people on the other side, and that we're here. We're here for each other.
Thank you. Also, can I just point out that you're so much wiser than I was at 18. Just based on
That's what that trauma do. That's what it does. That's what it does. But that's kind of how I grow from it. That's how you grow from it. And yeah, I've definitely heard this a lot. Especially, and also I kind of blanked out on that MAGA therapist thing, but people that have a MAGA therapist, you need to get another therapist. That sounds terrifying. I could not believe, because my therapist, she's a blessing. I told her immediately after the election how scared I was, and we cried together. It was very emotional. It was a very emotional time, but the fact that I can open up to her like that, it's very important, especially in that therapeutic space. And I want to go into therapy and psychology. So yeah, definitely reevaluate that, and don't feel scared to drop a therapist. You're paying them, you know? Sorry, I talk a lot. when I'm anxious.
You're totally
So
fine. I'm also anxious. I really appreciate you coming.
Oh wait, someone said how to choose a good therapist. Okay, so I have social anxiety, so I usually do like I'm on like Grow Therapy. It's like a Zoom thing. People say that BetterHelp is bad, so probably don't do that. But I think that it's tricky when it's like a therapist around you, especially now I'm realizing that like I live in East Coast, I live in MA. I live in a blue state. It might be really hard for people that live in red states for a therapist around them if they want to go in person. But definitely it can feel very not useless, but you can lose hope a lot when you bump into a lot of therapists that don't click with you, but keep going because I had the same mindset and I got blessed. So just keep going and just don't lose faith because when people were saying I think it was Neely who said I have never felt more patriotic. I kind of feel that because it's not with the country, it's for the people that this is affecting. And I think that's the energy that we need to keep.
Yes.
I think you might have blanked out a little bit. I totally get it. But
Yeah, sorry.
I've been up here for I think a good amount of time. I'm gonna drop down. You definitely need some rest and definitely give yourself some time. It's been a long night. And I'll read through the comments right after this if I can, because I totally blanked out. And Malik, I am not the mole. You started these allegations, bro. Malik, you started these allegations, dude. But again, resident mole out. It was such a beautiful experience talking to you and getting to speak with you.
I really appreciate you coming up and your words genuinely help. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night. You can drop me.
Okay. We get some W guests so that he doesn't feel anxious after that. I know that was probably hard. Okay. I think I'm going to have to shorten the guest time, get through everybody.
Hello. Hey. Sorry about the door. It squeaks.
You're fine.
I think I've never talked to you before.
Oh.
I've seen several of your lives and I applaud what you're doing, but I think I've never talked to you before.
Well,
it's good to meet you. I'm Sheila. Frodo is the bird, actually. So, you just looked really down when I scrolled past, and I thought, oh gosh, I hope he's okay. And then I saw mental health check-in, so I just wanted to pop in and say I'm sorry for whatever is on your heart and on your mind, and I understand completely how all of this stuff that's going on can get really overwhelming. But you're doing a great job when you talk to people. I think you're an encouragement to a lot of us who we don't have the platform and we don't have the wherewithal to keep up with these morons. Can I say that?
Yeah. You can say it louder for the people in the back.
Oh gosh. So I'm hesitant sometimes to talk about this because it's hard. But yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of the day that Greg Abbott pardoned the guy who ended my son's life. And I don't know how old you are, but if you remember in 2020 when Black Lives Matter was protesting, my son was out there for 50 straight days. And there were a lot of violent white supremacists who would try to attack them, driving their cars into the crowd. I know you've probably heard about some of that. And one of those guys ran a red light directly into an intersection full of people and put 5 bullets into my son's chest. And the police let him go that night. This is Texas. This is Austin. The police let him go because he said it was self-defense. And we had to wait 3 years for a trial. And when we finally went to trial, the jury saw all the evidence that he planned it. It was planned. He talked about it with his friends, what he wanted to do. He was convicted of murder 1 and sentenced to 25 years. But that night, Tucker Carlson got on Fox News and said, "What's going on, Greg Abbott? I thought you had strong self-defense laws in Texas." So the next day, the governor got on Twitter and said, "I look forward to pardoning him as soon as it hits my desk." Well, the pardon board is all appointed by him. And a year later, it was May 16th of 2024, I got a phone call that he had been pardoned without supervision and his firearm rights were restored. And he lives less than an hour away from me. So I'm never okay. I'm never okay anymore.
My blood is boiling hearing this. I'm so sorry.
Thank you. But that's the world that we live in now. You know, everybody says this is an authoritarian dictatorship. And I'm like, well, yeah, but it started in 2020. It's not new. You know, when they can take the life of an Air Force veteran who was simply practicing his First and Second Amendment rights and justify his death and say that he deserved it by pardoning the guy who did it. It's insane. And all the protests and stuff that are happening now, I would love to be out there, but my anxiety won't let me. And I worry about what are they capable of? What are they capable of doing to protesters? And what would be allowed and condoned and applauded even in this political climate?
I wish I had the words to comfort. I don't know what to say.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I don't know
really
if you
do.
want to. I don't know if you want to talk about your son and the type of man he is.
That would be awesome. Thank you. He was 28. Garrett met his fiance when they were 17. Whitney's black. Garrett's white. They fell in love online. He was in love with her before he ever brought her home. You know, it was a beautiful relationship. And 1 month after they got engaged, she went septic. She got sick and lost all 4 of her limbs. And at that point, they were almost 19. And Garrett stayed with her. He stayed with her and did things for her that most men won't do for their wives after 30 years of marriage. He was her sole caretaker. Immediately after high school, he had enlisted to go into the Air Force. So he was kind of locked in. He had to leave. So when he got home, the first thing he did is become Whitney's sole caretaker. That was his full-time position, was to love her and be there for her and whatever she needed. And they ended up buying their dream house in Austin. Hadn't even been there a full year when this protest started. And you heard all these horrible right-wing opinions about the protesters. Oh, they need to get jobs, and why don't they find something else to do that's more productive? They were very financially secure. They could have been anywhere in the world, and he chose to be out there. Every day for 50 straight days, they started a homeless mission where they were feeding the unhoused community every week. He was an amazing person.
Would you be comfortable with me sharing his?
Absolutely. Do you need it?
No, I was.
Okay.
Hi, love.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. I wanted to be up here to help you.
Thank you.
Always. You know that.
Yeah, that's my baby.
If you guys don't know his story, she has a bunch of stuff on her page that you can go through and watch everything. There's stuff on YouTube. There's stuff everywhere. But when I tell you this woman is one of the strongest women I know on the planet, I don't know how she gets up every day. And sometimes she doesn't, and we'll talk, and, I listen. But when I tell you she's one of the strongest women I know in the world.
Thank you, Nikki.
I love you. You know that.
I love you too. But yeah, it's been horrible. Garrett was so much fun, and he was funny, and he had a twisted sense of humor. Big animal lover.
Like his mother.
But-
You raised an amazing kid, and you know that.
Thank you. Thank you. I wish everybody could have known him. Everybody who did said he was hands down one of the best people on the planet, and he was. He
That's why you
literally
have people
was.
like me and Dan. We have big mouths, and we just make sure that everybody knows him and doesn't forget him.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm genuinely so grateful for you hearing his story here.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. I don't want you to be sadder. I'm sorry. But thank you.
You guys, you can be angry and not sad. Sad isn't going to bring him back, but there's things like Mothers Against Greg Abbott. There's like organizations that are trying to stop people like Greg Abbott and Paxton from, God forbid, doing this again. And hopefully getting Sheila peace. I don't even know if that's possible anymore. But people like this are just going to keep getting into power, and this is just going to continue. And for all of you that didn't know about this, look how long ago it was, and y'all don't know about it. And I've known her for a couple of years now, and I know about it. Some people Dan and I, we travel in steam circles. Like some of us do, some of us don't. I sat down with her. For the people that don't know about it, that's an issue. This is dangerous for everybody, and we have to watch out for everybody, all of each other's backs.
That's
So if you're not
I think
following
the
her, please
biggest
follow her.
concern for me is in this political climate with this current administration, how many things like this are going to continue to happen. And all Garrett did is practice his First and Second Amendment rights. He did nothing illegal. He did nothing wrong. And this administration lied about him, demonized him, and I got so much hatred poured out on my family in the middle of our brand new grief that you cannot imagine the horrible things that people sent to me. And I just see them condoning it and applauding it. And it's like, this dude that did this, the guy that was pardoned, he had a prior domestic assault charge on his record. He should have never even been able to have a firearm. He was a very, very troubled individual. He planned it. He talked about it with people at his military base, what he wanted to do. He followed through and did it and got away with it, basically. He spent 1 year in jail, 1 year of a 25-year sentence, and was pardoned and firearm rights restored. It's so dangerous. And it sets such a dangerous precedent because basically what this governor did is open the door for more people who are just like him to do exactly what he did because they feel empowered to get away with it, that they will get away with it in Texas.
Now, y'all know how Donald they photoshopped the MS-13 thing on the picture. So they lied about the person doing all of those things to try to make it seem like to demonize him. They said that Garrett got 5 pew-pews off. Like,
yeah, they said
shots off
his firearm,
afterwards. It was never shot.
it was strapped so tightly to his chest that they had to cut it off of him to get to his wounds. There was nothing in the chamber, and it was on safety. And Donald Trump got on his Twitter and said, "My son shot 5 times and missed." And this is horrible lies spread about my child. And so many people believed it and attacked our family. It was horrible. I mean, I'm still socially traumatized. I don't go anywhere. When I did go back to work, the place that I went to work for in my little red Texas town, they called me into the manager's office and he asked me, "Tell me about what happened with your son," because it's a small town. Everybody here knew about it. "Tell me what happened about your son, because all I heard is what I heard on the media." And when I told him about what happened, he said, "Well, why would you let him carry that? I would never let my son do that." Completely overlooking the fact that this guy ran a red light and almost hit a bunch of people. He immediately went to demonize my son to my face. And this is what I have to live with every day in this stupid state. I want to leave so bad, but I can't.
I'm just gonna come take you with me. We're just gonna go. We're gonna go up to New York. I'm gonna take you with me. You know that. I'm just gonna pick you up. She's not gonna tell you any of this, but I will. The things that she gets to demonize her, the things that people send her, and emails and messages, is what exactly has completely lost my faith in humanity. I will never, ever believe that people are kind in their soul again when I look at the things that they send to her. She'll send it to me and she could be shaking one day and she'll be like, "Or this is stupid." Like, it's the most traumatizing thing that I've seen, and it wasn't my kid. It's disgusting, and the cruelty is the point. And I don't get it, because this woman underneath me is probably one of the most special people I ever met. And I would go 10 toes down to protect her ass in 5 seconds. She knows I'm going to drive to Texas, pick her up, and just take her fucking with me. But she has a bird that I'm scared of.
And the bird is my baby.
I know, but I'm just scared of birds, you know that. But I'm going to take you with me anyway.
But Dan, I wish I don't even know you very well. I've never talked to you before tonight. And I wish I could just give you a big hug because I can feel your emotions coming off of you. I can pick up on that. And I just feel like you just need a really big hug. I wish I could give you one.
I mean, nothing I'm going through right now is anywhere close to what you've gone through.
It could be the biggest thing that you're going through, though. I wouldn't compare anything, you know? I'm really sorry.
But Dan, it also helps keep Garrett's name out there and put light on what they did. And we can't keep electing these people. We can't keep, we can't keep doing this. You guys want to like be blind to certain things, and we're showing you it keeps happening over and over again. Like Sheila's story is a real life story. She lost her son because of this administration. And there's others, and we know that. We have to stop closing our eyes. When Uvalde happened, they showed the videos, and the sign said on the top, children of the sounds of children screaming have been removed. It was removed because it was not okay for people to hear it. They wanted to desensitize it because that would hurt your, like that would be the trigger for you. It needs to be.
And the
100%
same
it needs to
governor,
be.
the same governor allowed that.
Yeah.
It was Greg Abbott too. So it's, Texas is absolutely a hellhole right now. So anyway, I'm gonna drop. And Dan, I appreciate you letting me up. And I don't
appreciate
want
you
to
coming
take up too much of your time. You've given me ample. And thank you, Nikki, for dropping in with your constant support.
I
Thank
love
you.
you. You know that.
I love you too.
More than life itself. If you guys don't follow her, please give her a follow and watch her story and boost whatever things that she can, because her story is amazing and she's an incredible woman. And
thank you.
Sheila, if there's any way we can help at all, please let us know.
Okay. Thank you, Dan. Have a good night.
You as well.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dan.
Bye, Nikki.
Goodbye, sweetheart. I love you. Yeah, I had a feeling it looks a little bit tough, and I talk to her all the time. She's an amazing woman, and I don't, as a mom, I don't know how she does it. You know, I know that because of her other kids is why she keeps getting up, but I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, I mean, I've expressed similar sentiments about Brett.
Yeah.
And
I don't know how Brett and Nikki do it either.
Yeah.
At all.
And with this this is another element with the person still being out there, pardoned.
Mhm. With his gun rights
With
back.
gun
Sorry,
rights.
PP rights back. Like right away.
Like
and for the record, this was a jury in Texas that unanimously found him guilty. So this wasn't like, one of the like they're saying the leftist states or like it, this was a jury in Texas that found him unanimously guilty. So I don't know how Brett does it either. Like every year, Brett, he's doing that 77-second thing. If you go to his, if y'all go to Brett Cross's page, he's doing a 77-second challenge where you duet his video for 77 seconds to stay silent, 1 second for every minute that they stood out there and didn't do anything. Sheila's videos, she just put up a video, and I put one up I put it up on my page also of who Garrett was and his life. You guys can, like, anything. Just don't let stories like this disappear, because they keep pounding us with so much crap that we're not talking about Abrego Garcia anymore. Where is he? This is the point. It's just keep piling it on, and we forget about the important ones. So, I love y'all. I'm gonna get down. I just wanted to come up because it looked like you were struggling, and I adore her more than life itself. She is Sheila's and Garrett's last name is Foster. She's up in the thing. Her name is Frodo. She has a bird that like her bird likes to rock out to rock music. No kidding. If you want to laugh after this, Dan, go. He literally headbangs to music.
I followed her. I'll definitely check it out after.
Oh my God, he's hilarious. She's right there, Frodo and the Freak, and Frodo the Freak and Sheila. That's her. So if you guys want to follow her, but yeah, Frodo rocks out to music. It's very funny. Even though I'm scared of birds, he's hilarious. So y'all just do me a favor. Keep, you need to don't get involved, like encased in all this. You need to do some peace too. I found out that, if you're around this 24/7, it's going to eat you alive. Like, find a couple of I found some
You cut out? Wait, is that my speakers? Am I muted? Can you guys can hear me? Yeah. Either way, Nikki, thank you so much for coming up. Hila, thank you so much for coming up. God. Do one or two more guests. And then we'll call it for the night. Hey.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, good to hear from you, man. I just wanted to say thank you for doing this for your community, and I wanted to say thank you for everyone for sharing their stories. Is there anything that you would like to put off of your chest or vent?
I think I did earlier. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know that there's any more that can come out right now.
All right, buddy. Well, that's all I really got.
Was there anything you wanted to get off your chest?
No, that's okay. Thank you. Yeah, man. Thanks for doing this again.
We have to keep doing it. We have to. Thank you, Becky. Matter of fact, throw all of Texas away. For those that are coming in, I'm not gonna be able to I'm not gonna be able to go over why I'm upset right now. I just ask that you that you look up the story of Garrett Foster. Who's an American hero. The guest waiting in the box, I'm sorry. I don't think I can keep everyone make sure stay hydrated. Garrett Foster. Hydrated. Hug your loved ones. And don't worry about me. I'm gonna be okay. I just need to cry it out. So like I know you guys. I'm gonna end the live and then I'm gonna get a bunch of messages. I'm gonna be okay. Get a hug from Mac ASAP. I'm gonna see Mac in Like 16 hours? Okay. Good night, Twitch. Good night, YouTube.